minutes, regular meeting May 6, 2014, and regular meeting of May 27, 2014. Motion? Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, Lisa. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 4 passes 7-0. Item 5, correspondence and communication material.
There's 2 items. One's from the United County Youth Bureau, which is a partnership between the Youth Bureau and student groups. And the letter indicates that students from the Hartford Project Purple, the National Honor Society, and the football team participate in a spring cleanup that was held on Saturday, May 3rd and Sunday, May 4th. The students are listed here. I can read it out loud. Again, it's an excellent opportunity for our students to participate with the community effort, and the director of that program commends. And the second item I have is the letter from the New York State Athletic Administrators Association. Where a week ago was awarded New York State Athletic Administrator Association Chapter 3 Judith Martin's Secretary Award. To a distinguished athletic secretary who has contributed the most to the success of our athletic and educational programs during the past school year. So congratulations for that.
Sure you know what's that? Thank you, Bob. Item 6, board committee reports. Audit committee, May 28, 2014.
Yes, the audit committee met on May 28th. The meeting was called to order at 12 p.m. Ms. Mann distributed the agenda received from Ms. Nelson of Finley Burton Brown with our independent auditor's schedule to complete the audit for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2014. Field work will begin June 23rd, 2014. The final field work schedule for the week of August 4th. The independent audit will be presented for review at the Budget and Finance Audit Committee meeting in October 2014. Ms. Nelson excused school administrators from the meeting to require as part of the internal audit, the administrators left the room and board members were allowed to speak candidly with the auditor in case there was anything we wanted to bring to her attention as far as things we discussed. This matter reviewed the BOCES Question 3 intermunicipal agreement with the committee. Internal audit is a mandated service for the New York State Comptroller's Office. The committee recommended that the district continue participation in Quest R3 BOCES for the service for 2014-15. The agreement will be presented to the board for approval at tonight's meeting. The meeting was adjourned at 12:35. Then at 12:43, I called the board of the Budget and Finance Committee. Third quarter 2013-14 finance report and budget transfers were reviewed by the committee and will be presented to the board tonight. Fund balance projected for the current fiscal year is reviewed. Expenditure projections through June 2014 are anticipated to be below appropriations as a result of cost containment measures that the district undertook to control expenses. Revenue projections are slightly above budget as a result of higher anticipated BOCES aid and revenue. Data goals update. Committee goals were distributed and reviewed. Please report on those goals. Legal review of the tax certiorari. We reviewed 2 pending tax cert cases. I was decided to follow the recommendation provided by Attorney Bill Ryan to obtain appraisal on the UPS property. This man also distributed correspondence from Mr. Ryan pertaining to the certiorari. I believe that's in your packets. This matter was shared correspondence received from the United Police and Fire Reserves Association. The topic was reviewed with the committee on February 27th. Due to the intricacies of the new legislation, the district has sought legal counsel for guidance. So that's for the contract transportation cost analysis. In follow-up to the public hearing, this manual clarified the estimated financial cost of contract transportation is within $20,000 in district cost while maintaining local control of the transportation of students. The meeting was adjourned at 1:19.
Item 7, new business. A, 2014 summer music lessons program.
It is recommended that the request by the music department to conduct a summer music lesson program be approved.
Second.
Second. is recommended that the resignation of Frank Corda from the position of bus driver be accepted with regret, effective May 30th, 2014.
Thank you, Beth, second. Thank you, John. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Personnel one passes 7-0. 7-2A, elementary principal.
It is recommended that Kathleen Carney be appointed on probation to the administrative tenure area of elementary principal. The probation term will begin on July 1st, 2014, and end on June 30th, 2017. Mrs. Carney is certified permanently in the area of school building leader and school district leader.
Moved. Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yeah, what's the process for the board members appointed to the search committee what's their charge?
We were one of the committee, there was 9 people, I think 8 people on the committee, we were the 2 board representatives of the committee, there was a parent representative, there was a 2 teacher representatives, another 3 teacher representatives, there was Vince, Allen, and another principal was also on the committee.
And a parent.
And a parent, I said. And so we were the search committee, and we reviewed the resumes, and we chose the, I think 8 that can come on Vince to interview.
I can't remember. who's
Yeah,
there now.
7 or 8, 8 or 9, whatever, to interview. And then we came back and interviewed a few as a second interview, and then made a recommendation, we put forward the 2 top candidates for his interview.
Did you report to anybody on the board regarding your progress along these lines?
No, because it was, you know, all the information was confidential, and we just, you know, we never sort of done that before. We had the charge, and we went through it.
Okay, so I mean, you didn't report to anybody regarding how things were going, regarding the process, where you were in the process or anything like that?
No, we distributed the
About
timeline.
Timeline, right.
That was reviewed back in April.
Okay, but during the search,
No.
there was no report to anybody on the board, to the board president, to anybody regarding what you were doing?
Board representative,
Okay.
2 board members representing for
All
that.
right.
I had no idea even how many candidates had offered the job, or who they
It's
were, or where
in
they
summary
came from.
letter, it's in your packet, your ADM.
Right.
Right, no, I mean prior, what he's saying prior to me, I had no knowledge
Okay.
of it.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? We were planning to have a function to meet Karen, is there?
We're having, she's coming tomorrow, correct? She will be meeting faculty tomorrow, or Thursday with the faculty, and there'll be a student assembly tomorrow. And then you changed the PTA meeting, is it Tuesday now, June 10th?
Tuesday, June 10th.
4 to 6:30, and parents will have an opportunity to meet and greet with the principal. And we'll provide an opportunity for the board to meet individual as well.
Okay, because I thought we did have a date, but now we're forgetting about that date.
The date for,
The meeting. I thought it was the same date that we're gonna have our goals meeting. I thought it was gonna be like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
That was the PTA, that was the
Okay.
PTA meet and
Okay.
greet.
12 point, yeah. If it was all day, they switched it around a couple times, but if it was, we would have had her come down here. We'll set up an opportunity for the board. And you're more than welcome to go June 10th between 4 and 6:30, up to you as well.
Is it June? I'm sorry, June?
June 10th, between 4 and 6:30.
4:30 to 6 o'clock. and it will
4:30,
be-
6 o'clock?
Yeah. and
At
it'll-
Hughes.
We'll be held in the library at Hughes.
That's the PTA.
That's the PTA meet and greet.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 2A passes 7-0. 2B, elementary teacher.
It is recommended that Gina Totaro be appointed on probation to the elementary academic tenure area. Service shall begin on September 1, 2014, and on August 31st, 2016. Ms. Totaro is certified initially in childhood education for grades 1 through 6.
Motion?
Section.
And Paul, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? B passes 7-0. C, elementary teacher.
It is recommended that Allison Dunn be appointed on probation to the elementary academic tenure area. Service shall begin on September 1, 2014, and end on August 31st, 2015. Ms. Dunn is certified initially in early childhood education, grade, or birth through grade 2, and childhood education, grades 1 through 6.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? C passes 7-0. C, which should be D, music teachers, summer music teachers.
It is recommended the following be appointed as teachers for the summer music lessons program: Christopher Schenkel, Katie Donovan, Michelle Wilcox, Tim Ferguson, Joanne Godemo, Brian Dunlap, and Dan Fabio.
Motion?
Moved. Second.
Lisa, repeat that. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Summer music teacher passes 7-0. Substitute teacher list.
It is recommended the following be appointed to the per diem substitute teacher list. Familiar names: Deborah Baldwin, certified in special education, and Jane Watkins, certified in elementary.
Thank you, Pat. Second. Thank you, John. Discussion?
Yeah, Vince, does this mean it's good for like next year too? when you're
Yes,
like-
once you're on the list, you're on the list.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Substitute teacher list passes 7-0. 3, reclassification.
It is recommended that Linda Budlong be reclassified from the position of Office Specialist 1 to the position of Teacher Aide 2, effective September 1, 2014.
Move.
Thank you.
Second.
Jim, thank you, Pat. Discussion?
I just have a question, just to make sure that the rates are right. So she bid on a lower rate?
It's a different class and different, completely different area.
So
different
she's not gonna be in the
responsibilities.
office anymore?
No, she'll be going into the Hughes Library,
Oh.
because they're done.
Oh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Reclassification passes 7-0. D, certification of annual budget vote.
It is recommended that the statement of inspectors for the May 20th, 2014 annual budget vote be accepted.
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lisa. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Certification of annual budget vote passes 7-0. See, BOCES Cluster intermunicipal agreement.
It is recommended that the intermunicipal agreement be approved between the district and Questar 3 BOCES.
Motion?
Move.
Thank you, Paul. Second? Thank you, John. Discussion?
Is there any difference from last year?
A slight increase in the cost. Last year cost was $10,820, so there was a slight increase.
There's no terms different, nothing like that?
No, everything else.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? BOCES Questar intermunicipal agreement passes 7-0. D, Committee on Special Ed.
The recommendations from the Committee on Special Education's meetings of May 15th, 19th, 20th, 27th, and 28th, 2014 are presented for approval.
Motion? Moved. Thank you, Eva. Second? Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? D passes 7-0. E, 504 Committee.
The recommendation from the 504 Committee's meeting of May 20th, 2014 is presented for approval.
Motion?
Move.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Will you get a copy of that? Got it, okay, yep, you got it. Thank you.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? 504 Committee passes 7-0. Date for reorganization meeting.
It's recommended that the Board of Education designate July 8th, 2014 for the annual reorganization meeting.
Motion?
5 p.m.
5 o'clock, okay. That's Tuesday the 8th.
You have something to eat? Please?
Oh, all right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 7-0. G, treasurer's report.
It is recommended that the treasurer's report for January, February, and March be accepted.
Motion? Moved. Beth?
Second.
Thank you, Paul. Discussion?
Yeah, Mary, these reports, now, we've already gotten January's and February's, right?
And March, I believe, is in your Friday packet?
No. Well, yeah, March
Because
was in
you're
the.
getting, it came with
Yeah,
this
it
group.
did, it
And
did.
April will be
It came in
next week.
the packet.
Yes.
What is the regulation for timing of bringing these reports to the board?
There is no regulation on timing. What we had discussed was we would make every attempt to get them to the board monthly, up to 45 days. We had a few vacations in there with some of the people involved, so it was delayed by a few days. But there's no actual timing and regulation.
Okay, but it's a
that I'm
monthly
aware of.
report.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you get quarterly, and now you also get them monthly.
Right, right, I'm just, again, timeliness regarding these reports, to be able to review them in appropriate time, 2 months or so, just seems a little extraordinary to me. I mean, if it's a monthly report and it's spit it out, I mean, it's,
So
that's all.
these, we were behind by about
Okay.
approximately 1 week. We had,
Okay.
our treasurer was on vacation.
Okay, gotcha, great, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Treasurer's report passes 7-0. H, revenue and expense report.
It is recommended that the revenue and expense reports for January, February, and March be accepted.
Motion? Thank you, Beth. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Paul. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? H passes 7-0. Budget transfer.
It is recommended that March 31st, 2014 budget transfers be approved.
Moved. Thank you, Beth.
Second.
Thank you, Paul. Discussion?
Yeah, same question, it's the same issue here regarding vacations and people being out.
You're getting that monthly now, so you've received February monthly, March is now also in this packet. It came as the quarterly packet because it was the same week, and April will be coming, forthcoming for the next board meeting.
I understand, it's 2 months behind, and this is something that should be reviewed, as soon as the budget transfers are made, right? I mean, as soon as possible, after the budget transfers are made.
Right, but we reconcile the books first with the treasurer's report and the budget transfers.
Okay, so it's the
coincide
same
with
issue.
it. It's the same issue.
So it's the same issue, good.
person.
And then the question, $45,000 in unanticipated increases in therapy service, what's that about?
We had a personnel situation, and so we had
Who's on
two
that?
things. We had
Oh, okay.
somebody out.
Great.
Right. And also there were some additional services that we didn't anticipate during budget time.
Okay,
So,
great.
because as you know, with, those different placements and different recommendations through
Yes, ma'am.
IEPs.
Great. What's all contest help mean?
All contest help are the officials and timers and hockey people and all of the above that work. all
So
of
it was in
the
addition to what was
games.
budgeted, or it was just partially budgeted, and this is in addition to?
I'd have to give you extra detail, but I'm sure it's because there wasn't enough in the line item for all contest help throughout the year.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Budget transfers passes 7-0. Item 8, other business.
Go into executive session, one pertaining to collective negotiations, and the other one for discussion matters leading to an employment contract with a particular person. And I'd also like to invite Attorney Linda Bowe into executive session when she arrives, which is scheduled for 7:30.
I think so.
You can invite Kevin.
Then you invite one member elect.
That's what I was texting.
Is there a motion?
Excuse me, I've got two other, before we go into executive session, sure. Security, where are we at with the implementation of our proposal with the New Hartford Police regarding in-school security?
Chief and Sarah is working with the town board. We're expecting a formal proposal from him. He's working his end on finalizing the costs and has indicated his intention to have somebody like one person September 1 and then two others February 1.
Can I interrupt for a second? Ed, can we have your two items be put on next week's agenda?
No, I don't think so.
For our policy, it says that we should move forward agenda items.
This is other business.
For the superintendent.
This is other business.
For the superintendent, but not open forum. It's not on the agenda.
Oh, it's other
It would just
business.
I understand that, but that just for the expedition of our meetings and to keep order, it would behoove us as a group that if you have any other business that you send to the superintendent. That's per our
Okay,
policy.
all right.
That's per our policy.
Okay, that's fine. This one doesn't pertain to the superintendent. This has been brought to my attention, and this is for.
Yeah, but that's an item again. If there is an item that you want to talk about, again, it should go to Bob and/or I for next meeting and be put on the agenda.
Okay, well, no, not necessarily, because I am allowed to speak regarding issues, whether or not you agree with putting it on the agenda or not.
Well, then I'm going to say that we're going to move on to item 9 and move into executive session, because the way that the protocol is, if you have something to discuss, it would be a matter of protocol and a matter of policy that you contact either Bob or I. We put it on the agenda, or as we see fit it into the agenda and move on. But the ad hoc bring things up means we don't have an agenda, because anybody can willy-nilly just start bringing things up, which causes a lot of consternation among them.
Okay, fair enough. Please put on the agenda for next week problems with that have come to my attention regarding election improprieties and possibly illegal action by school officials and the board.
If you could give the specifics to Bob. and/or
That's the specifics.
Well, then we realize that Bob sets the agenda with me. If you choose that, that's not.
If you don't choose that, then it's going into the paper. So, I mean, it's up to you guys, whether you want to be an open and forward board, or you want to sweep things under the rug. It's up to you.
Ed, you know what? I object to how you're positioning that.
Okay.
We talked last week about the board policy. It says very clearly in our standards of contact that all information, proposed agenda items are supposed to be relayed to the superintendent 4 days prior to the meeting.
This is other business. What does other business mean?
It means that if you have information, you should relay it through the superintendent or the president of the board before it's brought to open session.
What does other business mean? What does it mean?
It means that if someone else has other business they'd like to bring forward, but you didn't find out about it 5 minutes before the meeting, you have notes. I'm
What
assuming
does
that you
other
heard about
business
it.
mean?
That's not relevant. What's
It is relevant. It's on the agenda.
So you're more concerned about the words other business than the policies of the board?
I'm concerned
Is that
about,
what you're
I'm
suggesting?
concerned about the ability of board members to bring up other business that's not on the agenda set by the president.
Well, I'm
Other
not concerned
business-
with the ability of the board to follow the policy that's set forth that we reviewed last week.
I'm just asking you, what is other business?
Other business is for our superintendent, in between when the agenda went out and today, if there are other pertinent information that he would like to discuss, he can bring it up at that point. That's what other business is. It's not really open for, again, why have an agenda if other business means anybody can, again.
Because it's your agenda, and
Right.
people
Yes.
elected by the people
You know,
have an
I just gave you- I just
opportunity,
gave you
have
an
an
answer.
opportunity to
And I
bring
gave
up
you an
other
answer.
business.
And I gave you I just gave you an answer. It's for the superintendent between the time that the agenda went out and tonight, if he's got other items of pertinent nature that he feels is warranted.
Is that
he
by
can
policy?
bring
Is this
up.
spelled out by policy? If
Yes.
that's the way it
You
goes?
just asked me
Yes.
what other business was.
No, I'm asking you, are you getting that from policy, or did you just come up
You
with
asked
that?
me what the interpretation of other business was for me, and I just gave it.
Well, that's not good enough.
Okay.
It has to be by policy.
Well,
And other
You're
business,
subjecting it to your.
no, I'm not.
your-
This is other business.
let's move on.
By your interpretation.
No.
Yes.
But, whatever.
But whatever is okay for you, but not for him.
And I wrote down, and the second item was about police, returned police officers Do you want that on the agenda as well? Or did I answer your-
No, you answered my question there, that's great.
Okay, so we'll discuss that.
If it's not on the agenda, please let me know, because I'll have to do some stuff.
Are you threatening the board?
I'm not threatening the board.
It sounded like it.
I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just trying to bring to the board's attention, as I have since day one, trying to get the board to understand that we're governed by rules and regulations.
Yes,
That's
which
all.
you are choosing to ignore.
Right.
That's all, which I'm choosing to
Yes.
Can you
ignore.
read the
Other
policy?
business is
Read
not
the
ignoring anything,
policy
Beth.
number and the policy item that clearly states what that means.
Other
Item
business
8,
is.
Item 9, have proposed agenda items to the superintendent 4 days prior to the meeting.
That's been
10,
changed.
agree that meeting agenda items are set 5 days prior to a meeting.
This is not an agenda
8,
item.
receive all information related to the agenda at least 4 days prior to the meeting.
This is not an agenda item. By the way, that's been changed. The policy now reads 14 days, according to the policy committee revision. This is not an agenda item. It's other
So
business.
can I have a motion to go in?
Inform the
motion to go into
superintendent of all
executive-
positive or negative comments you receive from members of the community and staff regarding the district's operation procedures and activities.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
Can I have a motion to adjourn, to go into executive session? Thank
Second.
you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, Lisa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We will now go into executive session at 7:30, inviting the Linda and Karen.